Hello, my name's Katie and I've been part of Occupy Exeter since it first started last year. I wanted to go through a couple of things about the GA and hand signals because people have seen us doing this a lot and some people have questioned as to why it was and how that worked. We do this a lot and we're not mad. Well, we are mad, but not because of that. So I wanted to go through why we keep doing that and the different hand signals and how our GAs work in general. The General Assemblies, or G.A.s as we call them, are quite varied in what we talk about during them. It can range from discussions about how we empty the toilet, when we are allowed to have one, to discussing economic models, politics, the role of religion in change in society, sometimes covering everything from toilets to God within a single GA. So this is an explanation for how our GAs work and the hand signals we use, and why I think the way we do it is really effective. This thing is called twinkling, and it is to show that you're in favour of something. You can use it just to agree with something someone's saying. It's useful because it means that people can show how they feel about something when someone else is talking without interrupting them. It allows everyone in the group to be heard, even if they don't want to speak or someone else is speaking. To me, it seems like the closest thing to telepathy I've seen, because you can instantly know how everyone in the group is thinking what they're feeling, without having to ask them directly. It's also used when we make proposals at the GA. To make a proposal, you make this sign. A proposal is something you want to put forward as an idea to get the consensus as a group. And consensus is when everyone in the group agrees with your idea, endorses it, and then that becomes the will of the Occupy movement. So everyone is behind it, isn't just the decision of one person. If someone is in favour of what that person is talking about, they can do this as a way of showing how they feel about it. If they don't like it, when someone makes a proposal, what's going on in the proposal, they can do this. And that means a stand aside, which means that you're not in favour of the idea, you don't really agree with it, but you can let it pass if everyone else is. If there's several stand asides, then the facilitator will usually come back to look at the proposal again, ask those people what their objections are, and try to look at it again until everyone's happy. If someone is dead against something, then they do this sign, which means the block. This is a really strong signal saying that you are really unhappy with this proposal going forwards, to the extent that you'd feel that you had to leave the camp and possibly not be part of Occupy Exeter anymore. If someone blocks a proposal can't go through, this is good because it means that if someone feels really strongly about something, then their feelings aren't just brushed aside. So we get consensus, which is basically everyone agreeing, all standing behind one particular idea or concept. And how it works practically is someone put forward a proposal using this sign, and then they will ask for any blocks, and if there aren't any blocks, they'll say, are there any stand asides? And if there aren't any, then they say, do we have consensus? And then everyone does that, and that can show that everyone agrees. So why is working this way a good idea? Firstly, it's not a new idea, it's a model that's been used by the Quakers for some time. I've been part of communities before trying to make group decisions, and often what happens is that even though everyone is meant to be equal, a few individuals end up guiding the way of what happens. Much like in our voting system at the moment, you can have 51% of the population in favour of something and that will pass, even if 49% of the rest are dead against it. Because consensus, it is impossible for a few individuals to act in a way that others really disagree with or that upsets them or hurts them. And so it gives equal voice to everyone, not just the ones who are the most argumentative or have the strongest opinions. People say it must take ages deciding things like this, but actually it's quite quick. Along the way we ask for temperature checks often, where people use that hand signal and that hand signal to show how they're feeling. And so the situation doesn't arise where someone has been talking for a long time and the rest have been sitting quietly disagreeing but not saying anything. It means that we can respond to how other people are reacting in the group to what one person is saying. The other thing that means the discussions are productive is the way that we run meetings, not just G.A.s but discussions too. You have a facilitator who tries to guide the conversation in the way that seems best for the group at that particular time. A facilitator isn't a leader, and there is no one facilitator, but we all take it in turns. If a facilitator feels like people want to move on from a topic or they feel like they're getting sidetracked, they'll try and bring it back to the topic we're talking about and also prioritise the different topics that are on the agenda so that we can move on through the important ones as soon as possible. We also have a stack, and a stack is someone who keeps note of who wants to speak next. If you want to speak, you can put up your finger like this. Try not to make it this one. And this means the point that you want to say is going to be noticed by the stack. They'll pick you and then you can say it. Or you can put up two fingers like this, and that means that you have a direct point on what the person before has said. For example, if they've raised a question or a query, you can put up your hands like that and you'll be picked to answer it. Having a direct point means that you are at the head of the queue, so it's best to use it as carefully as you can, so it gives a fair chance for everyone to speak. If several people put up their hands at once, you try and choose, the stack tries to choose the one who is got their hand up first, or perhaps if someone's been waiting for a long time. If you make this sign, it's a technical point, and that means that there's something going on outside of the discussion now. For example, a tent is on fire and you have to interrupt the meeting. I've been surprised, not being used to this system, how effectively and efficiently it works. Even when we're not in G.A.s and we're having discussions in smaller groups, we often choose to end up using the system because it makes the discussions flow better and be easier. It allows an equality of opinion and voice. No one gets left behind. It allows everyone to speak. It means that people's opinions don't get railroaded by other people, and that if there is consensus, it's true consensus among everyone in the group, not just 50-51%. It's also quick, surprisingly. People think it's slow, but actually it's quite quick. It allows to get us through topics at fairly good speed without anyone feeling like they're left behind. It's not perfect. Few systems are, and we're open to change, but we haven't found anything yet that we like more, or at least I haven't anyway. And so that's a little explanation. Please feel free to come down to the G.A.s and participate or watch as you wish, and I hope you find this video useful.